When we think of the great Maratha ruler Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, we usually picture this fearless warrior on a horse, right? A brilliant military genius. But honestly, that's only half the story. So today, we're going to go beyond the sword and really uncover the mind behind the empire, the visionary who actually engineered a system that was designed to last for centuries. Let's dive in.
And this quote it nails it. Winning battles, that was just step one. Shivaji's real genius was in creating the foundation of Swarajya, or self-rule, through some incredibly robust and forward-thinking governance. See, he wasn't just building an army, he was building an entire state.
So where do you even start with a task that big? Well, he started with the blueprint for his government, a council of ministers that for its time was absolutely revolutionary. He called it the Ashta Pradhan Mandal.
Now, think about the old way of doing things. Power passed down from father to son, whether they were competent or not. Shivaji's model completely flipped that on its head. It was a dynamic system based purely on merit. It didn't matter who your father was. What mattered was what you could do. I mean, that was a radical shift that created a government of actual experts. And just look at the structure he set up. It's basically a modern cabinet. You've got the Peshwa, kind of like the prime minister, running the whole administration. Then there's the Amacha, handling all the finances. The Senapati is the commander of the army, and so on. Each one of these 8 pillars had a crystal clear role, which just ensured the whole machine of the state ran smoothly. And you can hear it in his own words right here. He absolutely knew, that for his kingdom to outlive him, it couldn't just rely on his personal strength. No way. It needed real institutions built on a solid foundation of wisdom, justice, and discipline.
And that way of thinking, it flows directly into the next crucial layer, the economy. Shivaji understood a really simple truth. A strong state is built on the backs of a prosperous people, not an oppressed one.
And you can really see the difference he made. Before him, you had farmers just crushed by random, unpredictable taxes and greedy middlemen. But under Shivaji's system, you see fairness, you see prosperity. He just completely swept away that old, corrupt system and brought in direct revenue collection and fair, predictable tax rates.
He set the state's share of any farm's produce at 2/5. Now, why is a simple fraction like that so important? Well, because for the first time ever, a farmer knew exactly what he owed. No surprises, no games. That kind of clarity and fairness, it built loyalty and actually encouraged people to be more productive. A simple change with massive consequences.
And that really gets to the heart of his philosophy here. By protecting and empowering the farmers, he wasn't just being a nice guy, he was strategically securing the economic engine of his kingdom for the long haul.
Okay, so you have a prosperous kingdom. What's next? Well, you need a strong shield to protect it, right? And this brings us to his military, which, just like his administration, was another incredibly organized and disciplined system.
He professionalized his army in ways that were just unheard of back then. His soldiers got regular salaries, paid right from the treasury. This meant they didn't have to go around looting villages to survive. He was a master of guerrilla warfare, using the hilly terrain to his advantage. Oh, and he also built a powerful navy to protect the entire coastline.
This quote just connects it all so perfectly. For him, forts weren't just military bases. They were symbols of security. They were the actual shields protecting the people and the very idea of Swarajya. Every single part of his military had a purpose that went way beyond just winning the next fight.
But maybe the most incredible, the most forward-thinking part of his rule was its soul, a deliberate state policy of religious tolerance and unity, all in an age that was being torn apart by conflict.
And look, this wasn't just some nice idea. It was actual policy. Mosques and the holy books of other faiths were given protection. Women, no matter their community, were treated with the utmost respect. And this is crucial. His administration and his army had officers from many different faiths. He was truly building a kingdom for all of his subjects. And that right there, that's the absolute core of his philosophy on how to be a king. His personal faith was his own business, but his public duty, his path as a king, was to deliver justice fairly to every single person living under his rule. Period. So, when you put it all together, the council based on merit, the fair economy, the disciplined military, and the inclusive society, you really start to see the whole picture. You see why his legacy wasn't just about being a conqueror, but about being a true nation builder.
And that's really the key to his lasting impact. See, Shivaji's empire didn't just crumble after he was gone, because it wasn't built only on him. It was built on the strong, resilient systems that he had so carefully designed and put into place.
And that really leaves us with a big question to think about, doesn't it? Is a leader's real legacy measured in the battles they win? Or is it measured in the institutions they build that actually outlive them? Shivaji's story, I think, gives us a pretty powerful answer.
Because in the end, while the sword was absolutely necessary to win freedom, it was his brilliant administration that truly secured that freedom for generations to come, and that was the genius of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj.